Hello YouTube, welcome to Elite Dangerous 2.3.1, and there's spoilers ahead. If you don't want to see spoilers, please see another video to the right hand side of the screen or down below right about now. Okay, if you're still here, we're going to get into the spoilers a little bit here later, but the functions that were added into multi-crew, basically enabling the helmsman to allow or disallow people access to fighters and or limited control of the turreted weapons on board versus full control of turreted weapons and utility slots and the ability to retract and deploy hardpoints is still very limited. It's still better than what we had before, but that's over on the functions panel if you go looking for it. And something like that should have been there, but still lacking the finite control where I could give individual weapons to control of the gunner. Because as my friends and I found out in beta testing, things like missile launchers oftentimes were better in the control of the helmsman, and that was something we were looking for. My gunner was like, I think the missiles would be better if you were controlling them versus me at the moment. But alas, not that level of finite control. I also think it's too little too late. I don't see multi-crew being expanded and fleshed out in the future. I may end up being wrong about this, but given the amount of times that I've tried to join other crews in the recent weeks, I should say in the recent week since I've gotten back from Dallas, I failed to connect a single time, no matter what time of day or night that I tried it. And I would sit there for 3 to 4 minutes just spamming the button over and over again, no ships found, no ships found. Even when I opened up my ship to allow other crew members to come on board, it was oftentimes 10 to 15 minutes before you would see a full crew on board, and if somebody left, they would essentially rejoin the ship a few minutes later because apparently I would be the only person open that they could connect to. So I hate to say it, but I have a feeling that multi-crew is effectively dead at this point. Now, the other big thing is the revelation of these new alien structures that have been found at multiple sites now across the galaxy, as well as the fact that I believe if you bring a couple of unknown artifacts or unknown probes to the facility, you can get in through the doors, drive around a chasm in or cave in your SRV, and unlock a star chart, I believe it is, for lack of a better term, or that's what people are calling it thus far, a map, as you will. So this does, for certain segments of the community, just absolutely enthrall them. It's puzzles and things like that to solve. And as David Braben said in his PlayStation 4 AMA, join a community group because that'll enhance the experience. But at the same time, it's just kind of more of the same failed, or I should say lack of narrative story structure anywhere present in the game. I will harken back to Privateer, which was a Chris Roberts game. Actually, I guess more appropriately, it was an Aaron Roberts game. But nonetheless, I played that game for months, probably close to a year, before I even realized that there was a storyline there. Now, of course, single-player game, you're the big damn hero and all of that. At the same time, the way that this content is delivered, basically the commanders who just find it are the ones who get that discovery aha moment. The rest of the galaxy can frankly go about their business and not even be bothered, maybe not even know it was there if you weren't checking external sources, such as Reddit, such as the forums, such as YouTube. And I'll tell you what, I'm actually there. I'm there with an unknown probe or unknown artifact when I logged out last night. I have no great desire to even log in tonight, at least not until maybe later this week, maybe this weekend, get together with a group of friends and see what is there together. But at the same time, I've seen everything I think I need to see on Reddit. I've seen everything I need to see on YouTube. Why am I even going to be bothered with it? Same thing with the generation ships. I haven't even bothered to go find any of those in game. To me, this is still more an asset that they've put furniture in the room. But instead of putting actual furniture there that you can interact with, it seems like more that they've put posters on the wall of furniture that they would like to put in there. I don't know if that makes any sense, but they usually use this building a house analogy. And again, it's just, to me, baffling. Instead of putting the furniture there, they're putting a poster of the furniture and calling it, art or something that, hey, look, we have decor now. And it's, to me, it's scratching my head going, okay, I guess there is more interaction with this than previously in previous incarnations with the alien ruins and even the beginning of the unknown probes and stuff like that. But it still lacks a funnel to engage players and connect it with this material through any type of story-driven narrative. And with things like chained missions, how this could happen, or how I would do it, is you complete 4 or 5 chained missions. Now, they did show some stuff off at LaveCon that shows that maybe they are developing this structure, it's just not ready there yet, and it may be in 2.4, or as 2.4 goes along. But if you completed a series of missions for this faction, and maybe it's 4 or 5 or 6 missions, maybe those missions are procedurally generated or randomly generated, part 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5, part 6, and at the end of it, you get a tip-off, and this tip-off leads you to a listening post. There may still be puzzles and stuff there to solve with Caesar ciphers and things of that nature, but then you would get the information you would need to unlock the destination on your nav computer and go find what you need to go find. I think that would be far more engaging, and I think it would have a much better chance of hooking in players who are just playing the game to discover these things and make it a content-rich experience for them. And you don't necessarily have to go to a mission giver or a lore giver or something like that. There are ways that I think it could be done within the Elite Dangerous universe. Something else that somebody pointed out today is, the lack of anything like in-game podcast or Lave radio or something like that, where maybe some of this information could be broken as Galnet news stories as you're flying along. There are third-party type tools, such as Lave Radio or Radio Free Sidewinder or whatever it is, that do offer some of this out there that's player-driven, but again, through external third-party sites. None of this is found within the game itself. And I think that has been a major design at this point, I'd just say flaw, an overlook. That while you don't need cutscenes necessarily, although there's kind of whenever the alien ships come down and scan you and shut down your ship and stuff like that, or a hyperdiction or something like that, that's kind of a semi-interactive cutscene. We don't need that type of story narrative, I don't believe. But Frontier needs something there to funnel players towards these discoveries and to make them for themselves within the framework of the game. Again, I don't know what the best way of doing this. My way would be to use these chained missions as a way to deliver that type of content to players and then give them what they need to know to go out and then find it. They may be working on this in future updates as part of the core gameplay overhaul, and that would be my recommendation, but I don't know. This just doesn't do it for me anymore. It's kind of like with the alien ruins. Yeah, been there, seen that, and I'm glad that these are spread throughout, but the storyline lost steam for me a long time ago. And again, if I can watch it on YouTube and look at it in the Reddit, that, I'm sorry, is far more engaging than it is actually experiencing in the game at this point. In fact, after I get done doing this video, I'm going to go fire up X-Plane or FSX, I haven't decided yet, and do some flight simming for the evening. I don't know, I just don't even feel even the desire to log into Elite tonight, and, there you go. So that's my 2 cents on everything that's come out over the past few days. I'm sure there's going to be more reveals and stuff, and I'm going to continue to do my series on things that Elite needs to address over time. In fact, I should probably have cut that out and turned it into another video. In fact, you may hear this in another video about the funneling players toward content using narrative devices. Not necessarily a full story where you're the big damn hero, but hey, if you ally up with a minor faction, they provide you this information as a reward, as a tip-off, as something like that. Because there's some decently cool things there. There'd be some more cooler things if you could do it as a group and there was group missions and stuff like that and experience it together. But again, topic for another day. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment in the section down below. What do you think of this new content? Is it just more of the same, or is this I'm just not getting it and it's something completely new and different? Well, let me know what you think, and until next time, see you later.